Hello, my name's Gary, and I'm going to talk to you about dyspraxia. Dyspraxia is a disorder that I have. It affects the fine motor skill development, and it affects 1 in every 10 people. Dyspraxia doesn't affect everyone the same. The disorder can come on differently for different people. For me, I was born a month early, and the dyspraxia was more noticeable during my school age years. Once I'd been compared to other kids my age, I didn't meet milestones and was not able to do as well as the other kids my same age. I was not diagnosed with dyspraxia until this past June when I visited a clinical psychologist. The dyspraxia hasn't that term hasn't been around that long. So back in the 70s and 80s when I was in grade school, there was no such thing. I was really glad to find out that all the troubles I've had in the past actually has a name now and that I've been diagnosed with it. Having dyspraxia can be stressful. There are good points to it. I think if people with dyspraxia think differently, so then they're unique in what they can do. But during my school years, it was very stressful because I wasn't able to conform to everyone else's expectations, like doing things fast enough, being coordinated. I knew that I had a learning disability throughout my school days, but I haven't been tested in at least 20 years. And there's been advances in testing and technology and knowledge. And when I was tested this past June, I also found out that I have attention deficit disorder, and I have central auditory processing disorder. And then, of course, my learning disabilities with reading and math. I read slower, and I have poor reading comprehension, so when I read something, I probably have to read it a few times to completely understand it. And math is horrible for me. I have such a bad short-term memory. I can't picture a math problem in my head or do it in my head, and I do it very slowly. People with dyspraxia may have the same disorders like I do, attention deficit and reading and math disorders, but not everyone's the same. There can be different mixtures of problems, but usually with dyspraxia, it affects the motor coordinations because I'm clumsy, and then I have trouble with fine motor skills and controlling my fingers, like opening a package, just doing simple stuff like handling, opening packages is a challenge, or manipulating small objects like trying to open like a bottle of cream or something. Just simple stuff like this is hard, like opening and closing objects and manipulating just about anything is difficult. The main reason I made this video because there's probably chances are there's people out there just like me. I'm 40 years old and went undiagnosed with dyspraxia since the 70s, but it all makes sense now once I read through all the symptoms and everything. It's like it was the story of my life being told to me. But at least nowadays, younger kids can be tested, and I encourage anyone, any age, who have similar problems to go ahead and get tested. Find someone like a clinical psychologist or a doctor, a neurologist, or someone qualified to test and to go ahead and get tested. And then, who knows, you may have a lot of your questions answered. I'd like to talk to you about a really good website I found. It is www.dyspraxiausa.org, and this is a foundation, Dyspraxia USA Foundation, founded by a guy named Warren, and he also has dyspraxia. And his mission is to educate people about dyspraxia and to get acceptance for this disorder. And he hopes to one day open a university for people who have dyspraxia, which I think is a wonderful ideal. So I encourage everyone to check out that website. They also have a Facebook page where people chat on there. So thank you very much for your time and attention.